So, I'm Brady.
Nice to meet you.
We are doing a thing on childhood obesity. What is your name and what is your profession?
My name is Chris Voltz, and I'm a Phy Ed and health teacher at St. Mary's School.
Nice. How do you feel about the childhood obesity epidemic here in the United States?
It seems to be getting worse with the cutting in education, and cutting back on Phy Ed classes are usually the first thing cut. Also, it's not safe for kids to go to the parks anymore to go play or go play in the neighborhoods. They've become more dangerous, so I think it could be getting worse. And with our convenience of fast foods and poor eating, it's just going to get worse.
Fast foods are contributing to obesity in America. Highly available and affordable, they may seem attractive to anyone hoping to save time and money, but ultimately, fast foods slow you down. They offer too many calories and unhelpful ingredients that contribute to being overweight. Extra calories cause weight gain, and the simplest way to overindulge in calories is to eat fast food every day. If you eat fast food at all, beware of how high in calories certain entrees and sides have become. As listed by the 272 fast food items highest in calories, McDonald's Deluxe Breakfast has 1,140 calories, nearly a full adult's calorie intake. Try to choose healthier, lower-calorie items. Many fast food chains are trying to improve their menus and offering entrees that are freshly assembled and baked. And as for salads without heavy dressings, croutons, or bacon.
So, for schools all over the nation, how would you feel, or what do you think is the most important thing to do to keep obesity at a minimum?
I think we have to educate our young people, and I think they get educated by having everyday Phy Ed. They're able to move, and then they're able to learn why it's important to move throughout the day. And when you educate young people, they become educated adults who then are moving and spreading their education onto their children, and so on and so on. So I think through the education, telling them why it's important to be fit, how to be fit, and then finding something they like to do helps too.
1 in 3 U.S. kids is overweight or obese, but only 6 states, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, Illinois, and Iowa, adhere to the standards from the National Association of Sports and Physical Education that school children participate in 150 minutes a week of physical education. And just 3 states, Delaware, Virginia, and Nebraska, have 20 minutes of mandatory elementary school recess a day. In the Proof of Human Nature department, unless you are required to do something, you probably won't. Researchers found that 4% of schools in the 6 strong states or districts were nearly 3 times more likely to meet the 150-minute recommendation, in comparison to 17 states and 29% of school districts were considered weak. 24 states and 67% of school districts had no Phy Ed policies.
So for youngins, 2 years old, and they're progressing through through age, and they're starting to get adolescent going, and they get teenager years, start getting puberty and stuff like that. For obesity, what is the #1 health risk, since you're a health professional, that you think?
Well, as usually things like adult onset diabetes and joint issues and those types of things usually don't happen until adulthood. But as the obesity starts to get younger and younger, you start to see more of the diabetes, the heart disease, joint issues in kids instead of 40, 50-year-old people. It's starting to get younger and younger. And so then that changes our whole medical field, that changes everything.
Some consequences of obesity are type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, which is twice as common in obese adults. 1/3 of all cases of high blood pressure are linked to obesity. Obese people are 50% more likely to have high blood cholesterol. Gallstones and gallbladder disorders are common. Also, heart failure, stroke, breast cancer, prostate cancer, pregnancy complications, low self-esteem, depression, eating disorders, and many more.
Oh.
If parents notice their kids starting to be obese, starting to eat more and more and more, and starting to get chunky, what should the parents do for education, like online or in general? What should the parents do?
It's always a good idea to talk to the child's doctor to ask, if there's something physically wrong with the child that's causing that to happen. But if it's from diet and exercise, being a good example for their child, if the child sees the parent moving, they'll be more likely to move. Doing things as a family that involve exercise, whether it's playing in the backyard or jumping rope, or it doesn't have to be super expensive. Signing up for activities through the community is also a good thing as a family or just the children. But just showing them how to be active, and then encouraging them to eat healthy too. And it takes a child dozens of times to try a food before they actually like it. So I think sometimes as parents we tend to, well, if they don't like it, it's too hard to make them try it again. And so we go back into what's easy and what's okay and that they're not fighting about. So it takes some real effort on the parents' part too to become educated on what's healthy, what's not, and then to be a good example for their children.
To get the family involved in activities, your family could take part in an Earth Day and take part in fun walks or fun runs. But your community could also schedule more community walks and have their own Earth Day like once a week. But your family could also go more than that. They could also schedule 30 minutes of activities 3 times a week. Like, let's say, have active chores. But instead of doing chores, because nobody likes to do chores, you could play outside, have fun with friends, jump on your trampoline, or beg your parents to go swimming. So for children who progressively eat more and more and more as they age, what would be a good diet to set for them and the type of foods that they should eat?
Very good. Sometimes, as society has moved on, our bowls have gotten bigger, our plates have gotten bigger, and we get in the mindset that, we have to eat everything on our plate. So making your plate small, choosing a smaller plate, choosing a smaller bowl, the brain will think that they're getting more to eat because you're getting a bowl full. The plate, the pyramid has moved to the plate, and you can see it kind of gives you a visual aid of how much you should have. So half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. A quarter of your plate should be protein and a quarter grains. And then 1 serving of dairy, which could be milk, yogurt, cottage cheese. And if you follow this on a reasonably sized plate, increasing the vegetables and the fruits is a big one. A lot of kids don't get a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And again, trying to get them to try new things over and over. You can't give up after the first try if they don't like it.
Over the past 20 years, portion sizes have increased drastically. A bagel that used to be 140 calories is now 350. A cheeseburger that was 333 is now nearly 600 calories. The amount of calories in spaghetti has doubled to now over 1,000 calories. Pop has tripled to 300 calories, and French fries have tripled.
So I tended to have, say, 12 pieces of orange chicken. Those are deep fried. Fried rice, 2 egg rolls with pork in them, and some vegetables. But let's be fair here. 2 cups of water, because I need the water. 2 cookies, usually with nuts in them, as well as white chocolate chips. Jeez, this is a fond memory.
Alright, for lunch I eat McDonald's usually, and it's usually McDoubles or McChickens and a large pop of some sort.
Okay, today for lunch I ate fries and drank some water.